What do you hate the most about Tim?
His presence.
His presence.
Excuse me, do you have upgrade for me? Is there different seats? Please help me. I'll pay you anything. I've been sat next to Tim for about 9 minutes. I can't take it anymore, so I'm leaving. See you in about 10 hours, guys, alright?
Boys, been an absolute pleasure. Tim, thank you for joining me. Did you have a good time?
Wonderful time.
Okay. On the trip that I've invited along to, my friend Tim.
Well, hello there.
Tim is a USA Army veteran who has seen war zones, and hence we've invited him on the trip to give his American opinion or perspective on this journey. We've discovered on this journey across Vietnam that Ben and Tim have zero in common and are barely tolerating each other on this trip. So they've got to sit next to each other for 8 hours. Let's see how they get on.
What do you hate the most about Tim?
His presence.
His presence.
Now, to be completely honest, with this clip, I am surprised Tim K got off the train to help. I think he felt pressure. He was already getting, negative comments by the guys he was with. He obviously, it wasn't. If you look at the first few clips of this trip, they were getting along quite well. Ben was respecting him, but then already this isn't even that far into the trip. Now, I'd just like to say, I think they were getting along early on in the trip because he didn't know Tim K. First impressions, it's like, well, whatever, you seem like a jolly guy. But then obviously as the trip, progressed, he realised he didn't like the guy, which I think is the case with almost everybody that Tim K meets. So that's the only reason I think they were getting along early on in the trip. And then it progressed to being, Ben being completely disrespectful to him and just straight up saying that he doesn't like him and he doesn't want to sit next to him. He's getting disrespected by Ben. So I feel like he felt a little bit of pressure to help the old woman that they offered to help with the stuff off the train. But it's just very funny look how Tim K's helping. That's as far as he helps. A guy who doesn't actually need help. Tim's kind of just holding the handle and not helping at all, actually. It's very funny. Like the others, they carry out heavy stuff and heavy set Tim just holds. That's the extent of his help.
There you go. Operation Babushka. He's got the trolley. Bye-bye, thank you. Come on. Have a good journey. I think Operation Babushka bonded us a little bit. Can we agree now that we're a team, finally?
Never been tighter.
Now look how tight Tim looks. Does he look like he's having fun?
I mean, we would have nothing to talk about still, but yeah.
Boys, been an absolute pleasure. Tim, thank you for joining me. Did you have a good time?
Wonderful time.
Okay.
Now look at his little, how he shakes his head when he says, wonderful time. He didn't have a good time. And just in his response, wonderful time, this is such a blank response. He obviously didn't have a good time. He obviously he wasn't liked by the people that he went with. No one can really be surprised. Please, someone show me a collaboration that went well for Ben. Just a couple of days ago, we looked at him and the regular guy literally ran away from him. And now here, Bald and Bankrupt and Ben Backpacker, both acting strange with him. And just listen to Bald and Bankrupt's response to that, okay?
Did you have a good time?
Wonderful time.
Okay.
You don't have to be an expert to pick up that these guys don't like each other. And I have a feeling that wasn't instigated by Tim. I think it was more that they just can't stand being around Tim, like everyone.
Well, it appears I'm next to Tim for the next 10 hours.
And the shitter.
What the hell are we going to talk about?
We have absolutely nothing in common.
Nothing in common
Zero.
at all. God's sake. Mr. Bowles got himself a nice friendly Vietnamese lady. I'm so jealous of Mr. Bowl. He's got a lovely lady next to him, 2 lovely ladies in front of him as well. And I'm bloody squished in like a sardine. Excuse me, do you have upgrade for me? Is there different seats? Please help me. I'll pay you anything. I've been sat next to Tim for about 9 minutes. I can't take it anymore, so I'm leaving. See you in about 10 hours, guys, alright? I've no idea else where I'm going to go, but I can't take it. Hello, mate. Get me out of here. Hello.
Look, they do whatever they can to get away from him. They always, if you just watch any of these videos on the Vietnam trip, most of the time they're not even with Tim. Because obviously quite early on in the trip they realise, oh mate, I don't want to be around this guy. This guy's actually going to ruin the vibe. And for most of the time, they're just together and they're kind of ditching Tim. Tim's just left on his own to do whatever he's doing. Now, who knows if Tim was bringing down the vibe because he was like texting Chrissy, arguing, and like they're picking up on it or something. But you know, whatever the reason is, Tim was a downer. They didn't want to be around him. Exactly the same with a regular guy. And I'm sure if he's had any other collaborations, it has ended the same. I need to go through and watch his collaboration with Harold all the way and see if there's any little things like that.